So happy New Year 2025. So I have a friend here today and I wanted to give you guys a perspective from Team Coach Paulie, and we do everything from dating to fitness, and I want to bring you guys the realest shit. And I always show you guys like testimonials of my dating life. I want to show you actual real talking to people out, whether I show you the interviews and things of that nature. And I want to show you friends. Me and Jake are starting the podcast, and I want to show you talks with guys. I want to show you talks with girls I've dated in the past, that I'm currently dating and potentially going to be dating. What I want to do here is interview people more intimately than I do at the mall and on the street, and find people that are in current relationships and people that are friends of mine, all different avenues to bring you the realest stuff. That being said, let's get into the intro. I teach you how to get stacked, Jack, while I teach you how to max. So let's grow, man. I want you to drop in some testimonials of what my dating life has looked like. I show where I've come from a 300-pound bodybuilder that was done on purpose, that kind of lost himself from, the negative realms of running around in negative areas to positive, to at my highest top physique, to my bodybuilding shows, and just show them a little bit who they're talking to today. I like to speak for the viewers that never seen me before, and I want to bring them value. So with that being said, we have a friend here today. This is my friend Brooklyn. We're gonna ask her a few questions. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Okay, you cool with that?
Yeah, super.
So what is the number one thing you're attracted to in a man?
I'm definitely a person of vanity, so I'm all about looks. Yeah, you gotta have something nice to look at.
What is your favorite body part? So what is gonna stop you in the street and just be like, oh my God, wow, this guy is fucking hot, or whatever it may be?
First and foremost is facial features, because that's something you can't get in the gym.
Right.
Something that's just natural by genetics. So that's first and foremost. And then there goes after that the body, because if you care for yourself, then you're gonna care about anything else.
Oh, you see a man's body after the face and it shows they care for themselves. So tell me more about that. Like, what about that? Like, what does that mean to you? Is that a make or break? Like, tell me more about that.
That's definitely a make or break, because if they don't care about themselves, I don't know what the long run of that relationship might just be. I'm not trying to deal with anybody's health issues later on down the line. That's first.
So what if a guy doesn't work out?
If he doesn't work out, I mean, he's probably not that great in bed either, and he's got to have stamina and endurance, and I feel like he most likely will not. I think this is a really important thing. That means he's organized, he's about his stuff, being serious about himself, and hopefully that falls in line, with his finances and whatnot too.
Okay, that's a good segue. So how important is a man's finances?
A man's finances are very important. He doesn't have to be like mega rich off rip. He just has to be going in the right direction to reach higher success. He has to have a plan, and has to be organized as far as his finances goes. Good credit, doesn't have to be excellent, but just going on the right way, on the right path of getting to that place.
How much money do you think I make a year?
I would say at least one.
Okay, so finance is important. So now, what if a guy's only making like 50,000?
I hope if he's making just 50,000, he has plans on making more just than besides his current job. That he has more goals set in mind to reach higher, heights in life. Because yeah, it's okay. You can be comfortable, and just get by, but life's just not about getting by. You have to definitely enjoy life. Life, involves things like traveling and buying yourself things, not in excess, but just treating yourself to the finer things in life at some point. There's only one life to live, so.
How do you decipher if he's actually going the right direction? Because I always tell my students, like, when you went to kindergarten, they had a little something called show and tell. You couldn't just tell something, right? You had to show it first and then tell it, right? So a lot of you guys, with your women, you just tell and tell. You're telling them who you are, but there's no show to it. And then you want to know why they leave you or never get with you, because you're on a dating app, Instagram, whatever it may be, and you're this, and you're in the first date, and you're running up how you make six multi-figures, you fucking do crypto, and you do this, and you have nothing to show. And I tell my clients, I stole this obviously from Goldie, but I want to get chose with my mouth closed. And how I do such a thing is I dress in designer. I was just preference some 6 foot, 6-pack, 6 figures plus in designer clothes. She has to be stupid not to choose me, right? And I don't need to say anything, because I just put it, you know, and I show it. I take professional photos. With the way that I look, dress, and act, she would be retarded to not see what I'm talking about. And then on top of it, my point is I'm prefacing getting chose with the amount of clothes and show and tell, not just tell and tell. And by the time I could even tell you, I've already showed you. And by then, you're already a believer. So I don't gotta say much.
Well, the only way that I can really actually tell if he's, getting back whatever he's working towards is, by action. I have to see it. I have to actually see, something happening, not with him just, talking about something he's planning. Not as long as I see it, then I really won't believe it. I'll just think he's just trying to, get in my pants and just try to, get me, and I'm not going to waste my time.
How do you know if they're showing you properly? Like what? Because anybody can act like they have something. Is it like, anybody could rent a car? Like there's so many things you can do. Like what shows you? Like what actually gets you to believe this guy is this?
Well, I would have to see, let's say, for instance, like he's trying to become an owner of a brand, I like to see, material and actually be able to touch and feel what he's, working with, because he could say that he has a plan to possibly, become a brand owner, become a designer, or what have you. When I actually see it in my hands and people are wearing it and starting to promote it, and I actually see something moving in some sort of direction, and at that point, I'll see that there's some really good potential going on.
So to my point, I tell every single dating client that I have, you need to have a brand. I don't care what you do, if you're a plumber, whatever you may do, you need to make social media content, because when you are making content, I don't care if you work for insurance, you're an accountant, right? And you're on the lowest part of the totem pole. When you start making content about accountant, do professional photo shoots, which don't even have to be in the preference of an accountant, or let's say you're a real estate agent, you just started, a year ago, right? Where you make 40 grand a year on the first year, second year, you don't do content, right? You're just a $40,000 real estate agent. But now in the second year, you're $40,000 real estate agent. You've made 5 videos a week, reels on your Instagram. You do 2 photo shoots a month, fashionable clothes, looking well, dressed, fit to the T. We never tell women how much we make, but now she's gonna believe you so much more. That's why I tell everyone, I don't care if you're a local 479 union worker and you break walls down, or you're a garbage man, make content. If you're a garbage man, go to the gym, be ripped, have a 6-pack, and make content and make a brand. You're the 6-pack garbage man, 6-pack and 6 bags, whatever it may be. And now you have so much more status to the man that you are, and you're gonna make her a believer a lot quicker. We're not trying to make believers because we're liars. We're just making believers into who we are and who we're gonna become. We're not lying to them because you are a content creator, you are this, but the perceived value is gonna be so much stronger. Do you agree?
I agree.
What's the craziest thing a guy's ever asked you to do?
Like off rip, I can't answer that.
Where did the last guy you talked to bring you on a first date?
He took me to a sushi restaurant, and it was pretty nice. Bottle, got to choose anything that I wanted on the menu, so that was really nice. Had a good conversation.
How many times did you see him?
I only seen him one time.
Why not more?
I only seen him one time because he was a traveler. I was just getting myself out of a very long-term relationship, and I just wanted to basically explore my dating skills and adventures once again, and just kind of get like a feel of things. So it was just nice to be able to go out with someone and kind of get myself out on the field again.
So he stopped texting you?
He did stop texting me. I stopped texting him as well too.
So who stopped texting who?
It was both sides. It was just like a, hey, did you make it home okay? After that, it was just completely silent from then on out.
So he didn't text you the next day?
He did not text me the next day.
And you didn't text him?
And I did not text him.
Do you have love for your first love?
I could really actually say that I don't, but I would be shocked if something happened to that person. It would definitely shock me.
Does height matter?
Height definitely matters.
How tall?
I don't like too tall and not too short. I'm not trying to be at your waist, and I'm definitely not trying to be face to face.
Sex on a first date?
It depends. If you're actually really feeling that person's vibe, if really that person is all the way presentable, up to par, I think that really does matter. If I'm actually gonna consider that or not.
Should a guy try to if he's feeling it?
You should definitely try to. Doesn't hurt to, shoot the shot.
Number 1 tip for men to get better to date a girl like you?
I'm like I said, I'm all about looks. So I really think that, we can have the greatest of conversations, but I'm not going to be there for long term, to be honest with you. So I like a guy who dresses very well and that has a nice body.
How often do you hit on?
I get hit on often enough by a mix of people. Sometimes I'm actually pretty impressed by people's courage to hit on me, and I always get, checked out. So I'm pretty confident about my looks. It's not something that I, take to the heart or to the head or put my chest out about it, but I definitely do get checked out on a regular basis.
What was the stature of the traveler guy? Was he a fitness guy? Was he?
He was somebody who was fit, not somebody who was overly, should I say, like someone who was like a bodybuilder. And he was a little bit on the shorter side. He was probably about like 5'7", 5'8". Let's say about 5'8" or so. So I really wasn't very much into his height, but he was good company for the time being.
One date.
One date.
So it must not have been that good. All right, so let's dig into some more deeper questions. So, what would intrigue you, or why would you like a guy like me?
Well, where do I start? I could go on. The list goes on. First off, is without a doubt is the face. The smile is just like killer, which just it brings you in all the way, and the way that you dress is just bar none, is completely what somebody pictures they want a guy to look like, a man to look like, but they can't quite describe it until they see it in person. And you definitely are someone who demonstrates that in real life. He wears amazing fitted clothes to his size, and he definitely shows what he's worked for, which is his body, his muscles, and all girls like that, all women like that, honestly. The height is perfect.
Can a guy have girlfriends? Would you let a man have girlfriends?
Multiple girlfriends at one time?
First, like just a girl that's a friend.
Or friends that are girls. Absolutely. Because you don't know what kind of history, that, they have. They could be very close. They've helped each other many times in the past. She may also be in a relationship herself, and those are things that you can't take away from someone. That person was there way before you. I would feel the same way, in return, honestly.
What about actual girlfriends?
Multiple relationships with females. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, just as long as you're able to balance it the proper way and not get things messy. I think that anybody should be open to doing that, honestly. Just
on both sides?
I feel like it's more for a man to be the one that not necessarily gets the right for that, but it just only makes sense it to be that way.
Expound on that. Why?
I believe that it's something that's more for a male to have the ability to have multiple relationships, because a man knows how to basically guide certain things versus a female. A female probably just doesn't know how to place herself in the right place if she had to be able to manage multiple relationships.
So now, but you don't think it's wrong if a guy is with other women but won't allow you to be with other men? It's open on one side. You're okay with that sort of relationship?
I think it's perfectly fine if you love him enough and for what he provides to you, and that's not just, materialistic. We're talking about someone who's really going to hold you down and guide you and protect you at all costs. Then, I don't see anything wrong with that, honestly.
Now, so even though he's doing whatever, would you want him to be honest with you when you sleep with another girl? Or would you want, so of course, this type of relationship would be him being upfront with you, right? Like, you wouldn't want it to be snuck behind your back. You would feel way more open to it if the guy told you he was going to do so.
I believe I would. I would feel more comfortable with it. Since considering the fact that I'm already open to it, I believe that it would be nice to know. I don't really need to go into detail or anything, what have you.
But I'm saying in general, like when you start the relationship, if he didn't tell you he was going to be with other women, and then later on you found out he was, that would be an issue, right? Like, it needs to be, if a man wanted to do that sort of thing, I tell men never to lie. There's a lot of polygamy going on today. And a lot of men want to have a woman, but they don't want her to do anything. And I tell them, you have the right to choose your relationship in any type of way, but you do not lie to women or anyone. Men that are strong don't lie. I'm asking you, if that was going to be your relationship, would you want the man to tell you the truth?
Absolutely, absolutely. That really makes like a real man for me, because someone that is just straightforward from the beginning, is someone who just deserves all respect. Honestly, they're not trying to hide things or sweep things under the rug and, later on just, surprise you with anything and just expect for you to just be completely compliant to all, actions. I believe that once you get it from the beginning, you are both on the same page and everything is just so much better and so much more enjoyable on both sides, and everything just has a healthier kind of balance in a relationship, honestly.
Okay. Why would you be okay with it though when it's not open on your end? And then I'll tell you why I think it would be okay from a biological standpoint. But I want you to say why it would be okay for a man. You explained why, he's providing for you emotionally, somewhat material or just providing. I want you to help the viewers, understand, especially if there's girls watching. And guys, this is your choice as well as it would be her choice in her relationships. What I want is for her to explain why it would be okay, because a lot of people just don't get to the bottom of it. He says, I feel that I have a sexual thirst for multiple women, but I want you to be closed on your end. Why are you going to allow a man to do so? Yes, he's providing. Why does that not bother you?
It doesn't bother me because I'll say from an honest standpoint, I do enjoy being with females myself. So, I mean, how can I blame him to not want to be with other females at the same time? And also, me personally as well, I could only focus on one person. I only have so much energy to give just one person. And if that person just is so great, then my energy and focus is only on that one person.
That's beautiful. And as long as he's honest, telling you the truth, you don't feel you're being done wrong or anything like that, right?
No, I definitely don't. I just know that, considering the fact that if I am, to be the main, then that's all that really matters to me, because I at the end will definitely be the one that gets the higher end of the bargain.
So now what if he gets emotionally attached to these other women? Now, is that cheating to you?
Well, not necessarily, because at the end of the day, I would come first. I would be first on the list.
Even if he's emotionally connected to these women and hanging out with them more than just sex sometimes and things like that.
Spending quality time.
That would not bother you?
It could possibly rub me the wrong way, because, that is something that I feel based on intimacy. An intimacy with you and the other person that you value the most. And I feel like once you start, sharing extra time with others, I could be at risk of losing my part in my position, and I'm definitely not the one to just, slack on wanting to just lose my position.
So, do you want to be the only one he has an emotional connection with?
I would consider wanting to be the only one.
Consider or want to be?
I would want to be the only one that he would have that connection with.
Okay, so as long as it's just seeing each other without emotional and, sexual, it's okay. But you wouldn't want emotional and quality time and doing things like...
I could give it an example.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for instance, of course, you go meet her up at her hotel or in, at her apartment. At some point in time, there will be a little bit more time that's spent there. That's obvious, right? It's not going to just be like a quick, a casual dinner out would be okay, but once you start kind of falling into other avenues as far as, helping somebody with something or going to, things during times and trips and
taking care of each other when you're sick, things like that.
Correct.
So that would bother you?
That would definitely bother me.
Okay, so I think the case is very clear here. So what separates me from other men that you see, and what is something you think the viewers can learn from me?
So definitely what sets you aside from so many other men in this world is that nobody is doing the things that you do. You definitely make yourself a person with multiple, talents providing, you know, so much knowledge to so many different people for different platforms and different interests, and you never really stop, and you always a smile on your face with it, and you know, you feel like there's no way that you could stop, you know. And a lot of men out there are just like limited to just one type of thing, and they don't do it with grace, and they're really sour inside, and they're tired, and they complain, and you know, I just don't see that, you know, being something that you do. You're definitely a man's man, and you are very straightforward, you're honest, and I could even say noble too. So it's something that you basically have integrity. You're doing the right thing without really actually even talking about it. You're just doing it, and you have so much perseverance because you just keep on going no matter how much time it takes, how many, you know, tries it takes. You just keep on going, and you look damn good doing it. So that's what sets you aside from many other men.
I appreciate that.